A very good morning to all my dear students. Today, once again, on behalf of Bruha Mumbai Municipal Corporation Education Department, I welcome you all for the statewide online lectures. Today, we are going to continue the same chapter number 8, that is cell biology and biotechnology from science part 2nd. Today, we are going to cover up the topics that is green revolution, white revolution, and blue revolution. So let's begin with our today's chapter number 8, that is cell biology and biotechnology. So before starting with our today's points, let us revise some of the points which we have learned in our yesterday's lecture. Firstly, we have learned what is biotechnology. What is biotechnology? Biotechnology is bringing about the artificial genetic changes and hybridization in the organisms of human welfare. Okay, biotechnology, it is bringing about the artificial genetic changes and hybridization in the organisms of human welfare. So here the definition is given as the art of utilizing the living organisms and their products for the production of food, drink, medicine, or for other benefits to the human race or to other animal species. Then various branches of science like cytology, biochemistry, molecular biology, and genetic engineering, these all are included in biotechnology. Okay. Then we have seen that there are many benefits of biotechnology, as like it has become possible to increase the per hectare yield irrespective of the limitations of cropland area. Secondly, the expenses on the disease control, it has been minimized because of the development of resistant varieties. Then, due to the development of fast fruit setting varieties, yield per annum, it has been increased. Then the development of the stress resistant varieties which can withstand variable temperature, water stress, changing fertility of soil, it has become possible because of the biotechnology. So here are certain benefits of biotechnology. Then the government of India has established the National Biotechnology Board in the year 1982, and this department of biotechnology, many institutes, they are working under the control of this department. And here the facilities for the higher education and research, it is also being done by many of the students, and it has given a great contribution for the progress of our country in the field of biotechnology. Then we have seen the commercial applications of biotechnology, just like the very first, that is crop biotechnology. The biotechnology, it is used for the agricultural field so as to improve the yield and the variety of the crops. Secondly, the hybrid seeds, genes of two different crops, they are being recombined to form the hybrid variety of crops. Okay, so especially they are being useful for the fruits. Then genetically modified crops, uh, crops developed with the desired characters by integrating the foreign gene with their genome. These are called as the genetically modified crops. So high yielding varieties with the resistance to the diseases, alkalinity, weeds, or other stresses like cold and drought can be uh, overcome by using this genetically modified crops. Then BT cotton, it is a type of a cotton which is being formed by the gene which had been isolated from the bacterium Bacillus thuringiensis, and it is integrated with the gene of the cotton. Okay, and in this way the BT cotton, it is being formed. Likewise, the BT brinjal, it is the variety which is being developed by using the gene which is isolated from the Bacillus thuringiensis, and this improved variety of brinjal, it kills the pest in same way as that in the BT cotton. Okay. Then we have seen the golden rice. It is a variety of rice which is having more vitamin A, that is beta carotene. Okay, this variety, it has been developed in the year 2005, and it contains 23 times more amount of beta carotene. Then we have seen the hybrid tolerant plants. As you know that along with the main crop, the weeds, they also grow, right? And these weeds, they always affect the growth of the main crop. So in order to remove them, if the herbicides, they are being used to destroy these weeds, then it can affect the main crop as well. So due to this, the herbicide tolerant plants, varieties of crops, they are being developed. Okay. Then the next we have seen the biofertilizers. Due to the use of the biofertilizers instead of chemical fertilizers, the nitrogen fixation and phosphate solubilization abilities of the plants, it has been improved. Okay, instead of using the chemical fertilizers, it is being replaced by biofertilizers. Okay, that is being a natural process. Okay, during which there is no any harm to the soil. So biofertilizer, it is being prepared with the help of biotechnology. Then animal husbandry. There are two main methods as the artificial insemination and the other one is the embryo transfer. These are both used in the animal husbandry. It helps to improve the quality as well as the quantity of the animal products, just like milk, meat, wool, etc. Okay, so you can see that it is a development in the field of animal husbandry because of the biotechnology. Then human health. The diagnosis and the treatment of different diseases, they are also important aspects of the human health, right? So for that purpose, biotechnology has played a very important role in finding out the solutions for different diseases. Okay, just like the diagnosis of the diabetes and heart disease, it has become possible before the onset of the symptoms, and it is only possible because of the biotechnology. Okay, then the diagnosis of different diseases like AIDS, dengue, that can be done within a few minutes. Okay, then in the same way, the treatment for various diseases, just like the diabetes, the hormone insulin, it is being prepared with the help of biotechnology. Earlier days when science was not, there was no any progress in the science at that time. The people, they used to obtain the insulin hormone from the pancreas of the horses. Okay, but nowadays, due to the advance in science, due to the biotechnology, the insulin, it can be prepared with the help of the bacteria. Okay, so it has given a valuable contribution. Then vaccines and vaccination. All as you know, vaccine is the antigen containing material which is given to acquire either a permanent or a temporary immunity against a specific pathogen or for a disease. Okay, so traditionally vaccines, they were being prepared with the help of the pathogens, but it was found that sometimes the pathogens, they were being completely killed or they were being killed partially. Okay, for the preparation of the vaccines, and due to this, it used to happen that there were the chances of contracting that disease in the case of some persons. Okay, hence, as an alternative, scientists, they tried to artificially produce the vaccine, and that was being possible with the help of biotechnology. Okay, for this purpose, scientists, they produced the antigen in the laboratory with the help of the gene which was isolated from the pathogen, and then it was used for the preparation of the vaccine. So in this way, that this vaccine, it is being safer. Okay, then we have seen the edible vaccines. The work on the production of the edible vaccines, it is in progress, and presently potatoes, they are being produced with the help of this biotechnology. Okay, these potatoes, they are called as the transgenic potatoes. These potatoes will act against the bacteria like the Vibrio coli, Vibrio cholerae and E. coli. Okay, these potatoes, they generate the immunity which acts against cholera, and it destroys the disease which is caused due to E. coli. Then treatments like biotechnology, it is being useful for the production of hormones like insulin, somatotrophin, and blood clotting factors. Okay. Then we have seen interferon. This is a group of small size protein molecules which are used in the treatment of the viral diseases. Okay. Then we have learned the gene therapy. Gene therapy, it is used to treat the genetic disorders in the somatic cells. Okay. And it is possible only because of biotechnology. Then cloning. Cloning is what? It is the production of replica of any cell or organ or entire organism. Okay, you can produce the exact similar copy of a cell or of an organ or a complete organism. This is called as cloning. So in the cloning, there are firstly a great achievement that was being obtained in the year 1996. A ship called as Dolly was being born in the Scotland. Okay, so cloning, with the help of this cloning technique, Dolly came into existence. Okay, and it was showing the characters as per the chromosomes in the nucleus, and any of the character of the Scottish ship was not being seen. Okay, so this was a great achievement in the field of biotechnology. Then we have seen that the cloning, it is of two types. The first one, that is called as the reproductive cloning. Here the clone can be produced by the fusion of a nucleus of a somatic cell with the enucleated ovum of any body. Thus there is no need of sperm to produce the new organism. Okay, in case of reproductive cloning, it is done because of the fusion of the nucleus and the enucleated ovum. Okay, so there is no need of the sperm. Then in case of therapeutic cloning, the stem cells, they which are being derived from the cells formed in the laboratory, they are being fused by the union of the somatic cells nucleus with the enucleated egg cell. Okay, so various diseases can be treated with the help of these stem cells. Then we have seen the industrial products, that several industrial processes, the chemicals which are being used in the industries, they can be prepared in a very low expense with the help of this biotechnology. Just like the alcohol production from the sugar molasses, it can be done with the help of the transgenic yeast. In the same way, environment and biotechnology, they play a very important role as they go hand in hand. It is being found that many environmental problems, they can be sought out, they can be solved with the help of biotechnology. As like the chemical waste water which is being given out from the factories, if it get mixed up with the river water or the lakes, so it can destroy the living creatures over there. So those toxic substances, they can be separated, they have to be filtered, and they can be separated, they can be filtered only because of these advanced techniques which are being used, which are being given by the biotechnology, just like bioremediation, bio filtration. Okay, then many of the biopesticides, biofertilizers, biosensors, these are the new concepts of the biotechnology methods. Okay, and they are being very fruitful in saving the environment. Then we have seen biotechnology in the case of the use of biotechnology for food. As you know that many of the food items like the bread, cheese, wine, beer, yogurt, vinegar, they are being produced with the help of the microorganisms. Okay, so it is being the oldest one technique which is being used with the help of the biotechnology. Then DNA printing. DNA sequence of every person, it is being unique and as that of the fingerprints. So this, due to this, the identity of any person, it can be established with the help of its available DNA. Okay, so this is called as the DNA fingerprinting. Okay, so these all points we have learned in our yesterday's lecture. I hope that you all have revised it, you all have understood it, and today we will continue with our today's point, that is green revolution. These are the important stages in the agricultural development. So what is green revolution and how it came into existence? See here, problems of pollution explosion were started to appear at the beginning of the 20th century. Almost all the countries, especially the underdeveloped and the developing countries, they had been badly affected by the effects of poor quality and quantity of food. So various methods they were being applied for harvesting the maximum yield from the minimum land area. This revolution, it was called as green revolution. Okay, as there was a tremendous growth in the population, so the demand for the food grains, the demand, the quality and the quantity of food grains, it was supposed to be increased in a low area, in the low piece of land. Okay, but this was not being possible until there was a green revolution. Okay, so this green revolution, in this green revolution, several methods they were being applied so as to increase maximum yield from a minimum land. Okay, so this awareness, this revolution which came into being, that was called as the green revolution. So for this purpose, the improvised drop varieties of wheat and rice, then the proper use of fertilizers and pesticides, and proper water management, this was being increased so as to obtain a high yield production of food grains. Okay, and thereby the large human population, they can be saved from hunger. With this view, this green revolution was being uh, came into existence, and Dr. Norman Borlaug from USA and Dr. M.S. Swaminathan from India, they have given their valuable contribution in green revolution. Okay, then various research institutes and laboratories, they are being engaged in the development of new varieties of various crops. For example, like Indian Agricultural Research Institute, that is IARI, it is in New Delhi. In the same way, National Citrus Research Institute, it is in Nagpur, and its many branches are also there. Then Indian Institutes of Science, National Pomegranate Research Institute in Solapur. These all institutes, they are working so as to increase the production of food grains so that the increasing population can get a good quality and good quantity of food grains. Okay, so that people can be saved from hunger. So with this view, this green revolution came into being. So Dr. Swaminathan and Dr. Norman Borlaug, they have given their valuable contribution in the green revolution. Then the next is white revolution. Various parts of India were rich in milk and milk products. However, those products were not being sufficient to meet the needs of distant, or we can say the remote regions. So for this purpose, Dr. Verghese Kurin proved through the cooperative movement and the use of biotechnology that dairy cannot be just connected, but it can be a mainstream business. Okay, it cannot be just a side business, or it cannot be just like a connected with the mainstreams, but it itself can be a mainstream business. Okay, so with this view, Dr. Verghese Kurin, he started with some cooperative movements, and he used the biotechnology method, and with the help of this, he put the cooperative dairy movement of Anand, which is in Gujarat. Okay, and while achieving the self sufficiency in the dairy business, various experiments were being performed to improve the quality, newer dairy products, and their preservation. Okay, with the help of biotechnology, there was several experiments that were being performed so as to improve the quality as well as to establish new dairies. Okay, and several dairy products can be obtained and they can be preserved, and these all things are possible only because of biotechnology. Okay, and this revolution, it is called as white revolution. Then blue revolution, the production of various useful aquatic organisms with the help of water, it is called as blue revolution. Okay, what is blue revolution? It is the production of various useful aquatic organisms. Okay, the aquatic organisms, that is the fishes, right? So they can be produced with the help of water. So this technique, it is called, it came into existence called as blue revolution. So farm ponds and the fishes, they are being very common in the East Asian countries, right? However, people, they are not only thinking of cultivating the ships, fishes and shrimps, but also other aquatic plants and animals. Okay, if you see the East Asian countries, so they are being very busy in fishing, right? So they are not just cultivating the fishes and the shrimps, but also the different varieties of aquatic plants and animals, they can be also obtained. Okay, so government of India has vowed to increase the production of encouraging the people of for pisciculture by launching the program called as Neel Kranti Mission in 2016, by providing 50% to 100% subsidies. Okay, what the government of India, it has launched several subsidies of about 50% to 100%, just like the Neel Kranti mission, it came into existence in 2016 with a view so as to increase the production of fishes, that is pisciculture. Okay, and for that purpose, subsidies were being given by the government. So marine and the freshwater fishery is being possible on a large scale. Freshwater fishes like the rohu, katla, and other fishery products like shrimp and lobsters, they are being cultured on a large scale. Okay, we can obtain a great variety of fishes. They can be from the fresh water or they can be from the marine water. Okay, so different varieties of fishes, lobsters, shrimps, they can be cultured on a large scale. Okay, so this revolution was called as blue revolution. Then the next thing, that is fertilizers. Two types of fertilizers are used in agriculture. One of those is called as the organic manure, and the other one, it is called as the chemical fertilizer. Okay, organic manure, you know. Okay, it is by composting the waste. Okay, it is not containing any kind of chemicals, so it is being very safe. And the other one, that is called as the chemical fertilizer, means it is containing chemicals. Okay, so the water holding capacity of the soil, it improves with the soil conservation due to the use of manures. Okay, if we use the manures properly, so the fertility of the soil can be improved. Okay, as well as the water holding capacity of the soil, it increases. Then Upper layer of the soil, which is essential in the agriculture, it is formed due to the humus formation. Various essential elements like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, they are being available to crops due to earthworms and fungi. In soilless farming like hydroponics, liquid chemical fertilizers, they are being used. However, there are more harmful effects due to the use of chemical fertilizers. So it includes decrease in the fertility of the soil. So it is very important that we should use the organic manures. We should not use the chemical fertilizers. Then insecticides. Though the natural immunity of the plants can prevent the infections, use of insecticides is not under control. Irrespective of the natural friends of farmers like the frogs and the insectivorous birds, pesticides are used on a large scale for increase in the yield. Okay, what for insecticides so as to prevent the crops from getting affected from the insects. Okay, so to prevent them, many insecticides they are being sprayed on the farms. But this insecticides, what are these? These are the chemicals, right? The pesticides, they are a type of a poison. Okay, and this poison, it enters the food web through water and food, and its biomagnification occurs. So various pesticides like DDT, malathion, chlorpyrifos, these are being proved to be very danger. Okay, so we should not use this kind of chemicals. Okay, then the organic farming. Nowadays organic farming and organic products, they have become very well known. Organic products, they are being available and a great demand is increasing for them. Chemical fertilizers and pesticides, they have been used on a large scale, and these poisonous chemicals, they reach the human body through the food or through the water, and they cause adverse harmful effects on the human body and as well as on the environment. Okay, so various problems like soil fertility and pest infestation, it has become serious. So as to overcome these problems, farmers are choosing the organic farming technique. Okay, because if the chemical fertilizers or chemical pesticides, if they are being used in a large scale, then it can result into decline in the production as well as the fertility of the soil can be decreased. So in order to overcome from these problems, it is better to do the organic farming. So here there is a complete ban on the chemical fertilizers, okay, and pesticides. And instead of that, there is the use of local sturdy varieties and thereby maintaining the natural balance. Okay, there is no any use of chemicals neither in the form of fertilizers nor in the form of pesticides. Okay, it is completely in a natural way and it is not causing any damage to the soil. Okay, as well as the fertility of the soil, it gets improved, it is not being declining. Okay, so this organic farming is of great importance. Then apiculture. You must have seen that you must have seen the beehives, right? So many a times the honey is being collected from the honeycombs. The oldest technique which was being used for the obtaining the honey from the honey bees was by smoking the hives or by burning the torch.
बच्चे लोग का अगर टीवी देना अगर मैं फुल मारूंगा तो बच्चे को टीवी देगा अगर आप टीवी निकाल रहा खाली बच्चे को घर वाले के साथ में
Whose mic is on? Please keep your mic off. So here in the apiculture method, what is done? The bees, they are being cultured in the artificially hives, okay, so that it does not cause any destruction to the hives, and large scale of bees, large scale of honey can be collected in it, okay, without destroying the hives, okay. And if artificial bee boxes they are being used, so there is no harm to the bees, okay. In the olden techniques, when the earlier people were not knowing about this apiculture technique, so they used to burn that honeycomb, okay, and they used to obtain the honeys, but it was being very dangerous, as many bees they used to get destroyed, okay, there used to be death of many bees. So in order to protect the bees as well as to obtain the honey, this technique of apiculture is being done, in which the proper here you can see the compartments they are being prepared, in which the small hives they are being prepared, in which the honeybees they can store the honey, okay, and we can remove it very easily without harming the bees, okay. So this technique, it is called as the apiculture. So here you can see the small compartments like the honey combs, they are being prepared, where the honeybees they can collect the honey. Then the cultivation of medicinal plants. As you know that India has been gifted with a great biodiversity, right? So Indian citizens, they have established the humble and strong relation with the nature. We have a great tradition of Ayurveda that cures the diseases with the help of natural sources, okay. If you know that your grandparents, they still they are using the Ayurveda, right? Because these are the medicinal herbs and they are not causing any harmful effects on the body, okay. There are many medicinal plants you might have heard, like adulsa, neem, okay. So these are the medicinal plants which are being collected from the forest, okay. But now because of forest cutting or because of deforestation, these medicinal plants they are becoming very rare. There are only a few of them, few varieties of medicinal plants are only left. So it is very important to preserve our forest, right? Because they contain different varieties of medicinal plants, okay. And this medicinal plants, they are of great importance in curing several diseases, okay. So that is the cultivation of medicinal plants. Then fruit processing. We are daily using the various products prepared from fruits, right? Just like the fruit chocolates are there, juices, jams, and jellies. So all these products, they can be produced by the processing on fruits, okay. How these products they are being obtained? They are being obtained by processing on the fruits. So fruits, they are perishable agro produce. It needs the processing in such a way that it can be used throughout the year, okay. Whenever the processing of fruits it is being done, it is being carefully handled, okay, and it all the necessary precautions they are being taken, so that those this processing cans or the jars they are being used up, they can be available throughout the year, okay. They should not be damaged, they should not get expired. For this purpose all the essential processings they are being done, just like various methods ranging from storage in cold, storage of drying, salting, airtight packing, preparing murabba, evaporation, etc. Okay, so several techniques, several processes they are being done so that this fruits products, just like the jams, jellies, or the juices, or the chocolates, so they can be stored for a longer duration of time. Okay, so in this way we have completed our chapter. I hope that you all have understood all the concepts which I have explained you. So you can just go through the videos and you can watch them again and again and try to understand it. Okay. So let's do a small question answer session. Those students who know the answer, please raise your hand and unmute yourself and give the answer. The very first question is, which are the two types of fertilizers used in the agriculture? Very simple question. Which are the two types of fertilizers used in agriculture? Yes, those who are raising the hand, just unmute yourself and give the answer. Hello, can you hear me? Just unmute yourself.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Anu.
Ma'am, the organic manure and chemical fertilizer are the two types of fertilizer.
Very good. Organic manure and chemical fertilizers. Yes, very good. Next question is, name the different insecticides. Which are the different insecticides?
Hello, good morning, ma'am. I am Diksha. Can answer.
Yes. Yes, Diksha.
Irrespective of natural friends like frog and insect, various birds, pesticides are used for large scale for increase in yield. Pesticides, in fact, a type of poison. This poison enters the food web through water and food, and its biomagnifications occurs. Various pesticides like DDT, malathion, and chloropyrifos, etc., have been proved to be dangerous.
Yes, very good. Okay, the different insecticides you can remember as like DDT, malathion, and chloropyrifos. Okay. Then the next question is, what is apiculture?
Ma'am, can I answer?
Uh, yes. Aditya is also raising the hand. If you know the answer, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, good morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning. Yes, Aditya, give the answer.
Ma'am, was the method of harvesting, collecting the honey.
Raise your voice. I cannot hear you, Baba. Just raise your voice.
Ma'am, was the method of harvesting, collecting the honey from this hive is driving away the bees by smoking the hive with a burning torch and then cutting the hive into pieces. This method caused the destruction of hive and large-scale death of bees. However, it is easy to collect the honey without destroying the hive and bees if artificial bees boxes are used.
Yes. So here, see, you should say this much that others, please off your mic. Diksha, off your mic, beta.
Yes, ma'am.
See here in the apiculture, what you should say, apiculture is a technique by which the honey can be collected from the honeycombs, right? These honeycombs, they are being prepared artificially. Okay, they are the artificial bee boxes from where the honey can be easily collected without harming the honeybees. Okay, so this technique, it is called as apiculture. Very good, Aditya. Next question is, name the different medicinal plants. Yes. Can anyone give me some examples of medicinal plants? Can anyone give me some examples of medicinal plants? Yes, Diksha. Arif Khan. Diksha, if you know the answer, just give the answer. Hello. Can you hear me, Diksha?
Hello, ma'am. Yes, I know the answer.
Yes.
Adatota vesica, adulsa, azardircha, indica, neem. These are the hence medical plants being cultivated in India.
Yes, very good. So these are the certain medicinal plants. Okay. So I hope that you all have understood it. Now we are having some few minutes. So just I'm showing you the slides from the beginning. Okay. So just pay attention on all these slides and try to recall. Okay. Biotechnology, we have learned the definition of biotechnology, the different branches of biotechnology. Then there are several benefits because of biotechnology. Then how the biotechnology is being came into existence in India and how it is being working on it. Then we have learned what is crop biotechnology, how the hybrid varieties of seeds they are being obtained because of biotechnology. In the same way, genetically modified crops, they are being obtained by the technique of biotechnology. Then BT cotton, a variety of cotton which can be obtained with the help of biotechnology. Then the same way BT brinjal, this is the good quality of brinjal which can be obtained, which is disease free, and it is being obtained because of biotechnology. In the same way, golden rice, which is rich in vitamin A, that can be obtained with the help of biotechnology. Then herbicide tolerant plants, biofertilizers, animal husbandry, then human health. What are the benefits of biotechnology in case of human health? Then several vaccines and vaccinations can be done with the help of biotechnology by production of several medicines, okay, several hormones, they can be prepared with the help of biotechnology. Then some edible vaccines which can be consumed, okay. Then interferon we have seen, gene therapy, it can be also done with the help of biotechnology. Cloning technique can be done, came into existence, we can say, because of biotechnology. Then the dolly, we all have seen, this is the variety of ship which was being, which was born with the help of cloning technique. Then cloning technique is of two types. One is called as the reproductive cloning and the other one called as the therapeutic cloning. Then there are certain industrial products which can be available easily with the help of biotechnology technique. Then environment and biotechnology, they are interdependent. Okay. So biotechnology is of great importance in cleaning and removing the toxic materials from the environment and keeping the environment safe. Okay. So then the food biotechnology, different varieties of food products, they can be obtained with the help of biotechnology method. Then DNA fingerprinting, it is also being possible with the help of biotechnology. Then today we have learned what is green revolution, how it was being started in India. Then Dr. M.S. Swaminathan and Dr. Norman Borlaug, these were the people who have given a valuable contribution in green revolution. Then white revolution in the increasing the quality and quantity of milk and milk products. that came into existence, and Dr. Verghese Kurin, he proved through the cooperative movement and with the help of biotechnology, white revolution, it was being done. Then blue revolution means the increasing the production of different varieties of fishes. Okay, not only the fishes but also the aquatic plants and animals. So for this purpose, the government of India has provided 50% to 100% of subsidies so as to improve the aquatic life. Then the fertilizers, they are being used in agriculture. Mainly the fertilizers are of two types. One is called as the organic manure and the other one called as the chemical fertilizers. But these chemical fertilizers, they can harm the soil. Okay, they are not being good for the soil. They remove the fertility of the soil. The fertility of the soil is being lost. So chemical fertilizer should not be used. In the same way, insecticides which are being sprayed so as to protect the plant, but these insecticides, they are again a poison. Okay, and this poison, it not only harms the yields but also indirectly when it reaches up to us, then also it is being very, very dangerous. So then organic farming is of great importance. So mostly now the people are using the organic farming so that no chemical gets mixed up with the soil, and as a result, the fertility of the soil remains as it is. Okay, it gets improved. Then we have seen apiculture, that is technique of obtaining the honey from the honey bees by preparing the artificial honey. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so with this, we have completed our today's chapter.
Yes, Amina miss.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Wind up the lecture.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Very nice PPT, very nice explanation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.